Paul is saying that your mind and your heart is actually a battleground. It is a battleground. Why is it a battleground? Because Satan is after our minds. Satan is after our hearts. And here is what he's doing in this, just that word, the peace of God will guard your mind. It will fortify your mind. It will be a defense against anything that's going to war against your mind and heart.
So,
Anything that is going to cause you to become anxious, the peace of God will be a defense against that. So he says, what must we do in everything? In everything, we must pray.
pray.
In everything, we must supplicate. In everything, we must make request. So he's using in these verses, right? In these verses, another idea that you can develop from this very text. What does prayer mean? So Paul is using a number of synonyms here for prayer. Number one, prayer is prayer. But then he says prayer is supplication. To supplicate, all right? To beg for something, to plead for something. But also prayer is making request. So in this sort of a discussion, what Paul is doing, he is actually giving us different nuances, if you wish, different ideas surrounding what is prayer. And that is an idea that you can develop as well. All right. So he says that the Philippians here, they are his crown and joy. All right. So
Mr. Eddie,
yes.
um, I was gonna say, and I hope I'm not disrupting class,
No,
but
go on.
with that, I heard a really good lesson about this. In fact, I preached it, so it's not coming from me.
Hmm.
But with I really like what it said because he says, when dealing with anxiety, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer. So we know we're supposed to pray.
Yeah.
He says, and supplication with thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And the study that I was watching on it, and what I brought up is uh, from what they had said. Like I said, it didn't come directly from me, but when we pray, we ask, make requests. That's supplication. And he
Hmm.
said right after that, we should take a second to thank God for something that He has done. And so it's this in this prayer, it's a we're matching requests with thanksgiving, and it helps me. This is the way I pray now when I'm making requests because I thank God for what He's done in the past. So it causes me to remember, hey, He's answered me in the past, and if He's done that for me then, He'll do that for me now. So what do I have to be anxious about?
Exactly. And the
Wow,
fact
that's
is,
deep.
prayer. Sorry. Yes, Larry.
No, I'm just saying that's deep there. That was deep there.
Yeah. 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 And prayer is also about thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So I'm saying in this very it right there in verse 8 is verse 6. Paul is giving a different dimensions to prayer. Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, as I said, there's an anything and there's an everything. You
Hmm.
make requests, you give thanks, you supplicate, and you are praying. And as you said, Sam, thanking him for what he has done in the past and thanking him for whatever he's going to do in the future.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that because when you do that, you get this peace, and it goes, well, it surpasses all comprehension, because why wouldn't you be anxious? Look at what you're facing right now, or what you might have to face. There's anxiety in that, but it's like, my God answered me in the past, he could still answer now.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And there's a song that says he will do it again.
mm-hmm,
All
Yeah.
right. He will do it again. All right.
mm-hmm,
Okay. So here's what Paul is doing now in this as he's encouraging them to stand firm. Paul then goes and says, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding. We can never understand fully the peace of God, or we can never be um, reach the point where we are self-sufficient that we don't need the peace of God. All right. He says the peace of God passes all understanding. All right. And um, I want to show you something here when he says it passes all understanding. Jesus says, my peace I give to you, my
mm-hmm.
peace I'm going to leave with you. This is
John
a
14,
peace.
mhm.
Yeah, what's the verse?
John 14:27, I think.
Yes, that's it. This is a peace that the world cannot give. You see what I'm saying? He says, not as the world give, I give unto you. But now notice what Paul says here now. The peace of God will um, guard your um, your heart and your mind. Okay. Now look at um, well, we read Philippians 1:27, but um, Paul here is using a metaphor from his own experience. So the word will guard your hearts. This is a military term. It's a military term. And what it means is that the peace of God will fortify your um your hearts and mind. Okay? So Paul, here is what Paul is suggesting. And this is what I like. This is what Paul is suggesting. Paul is saying that your mind and your heart is actually a battleground. It is a battleground. Why is it a battleground? Because Satan is after our minds. Satan is after our hearts. And here is what he's doing in this, just that word. The peace of God will guard your mind. It will fortify your mind. It will be a defense against anything that's going to war against your mind and heart.
So,
Anything that is going to cause you to become anxious, the peace of God will be a defense against that. But
Amen.
how is that defense accomplished? By prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So Paul is using um, the idea of what it means to be guarded. Okay. So they are to steadfastly remain in the gospel. They are to stand firm. They are not to allow their minds to stray. And if we go back, I know it is a passage, but I mean, let's go to a passage that we know very well. Ephesians 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ephesians 6 and verse number 11.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And verse 13 to 14 of Ephesians 6,
Mm-hmm.
verse 11, and then 13 and 14.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. And then 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. It says, therefore, take up the full armor of God so that you will be able to resist in the evil day, and having done everything to stand firm. Stand firm, therefore, having girded your loins with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness.
All right. So what Paul is doing here now is suggesting that, look here, the peace of God, if as a Christian soldier you are to make sure that your minds are guarded. And you notice how many times he repeats in Ephesians, stand firm, stand firm, stand firm. And he's doing the same thing here in Philippians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here is what Paul is doing in this verse. There are two appeals here that Paul is making. One is to the community as a whole, that is a corporate body. But he's also making an appeal to individuals, these two sisters. And he's giving reasons, watch this, he's giving reasons why there should be no rift among them. Can you guess what those two reasons are? Right there in the text.
Well, the one reason is because they are written in the book of life,
That's one.
and two is because they share a common fellowship with the Apostle Paul and the work he used to do.
Yeah, you are fellow workers together. Your names are in the book of life. So why are you quarreling? Why is there this division and this lack, this unity among yourselves? Why? There is no need for that. Let the peace of God rule in your hearts.
Mm.
You see? So he gives them reasons why they ought not to be doing what they're doing. Because you are fellow workers with me, and not only with me, you're fellow workers with each other. You're on the same field, you're on the same army, you're in the same army, you're on the same playground, you're on the same side. So don't allow the rift to come between you. Your name is written in the book of life.
So
You see
Brother
what I'm
Christian,
saying?